keep going to say slag. In today's video, we're going to show you how to solve rear end camper sag. As with pretty much any camper van we see that's not had some kind of adjustable coilover or something fitted to it, you get the back sitting quite a lot lower than the front. And this is just because of the weight that's in the back. You obviously, nowadays, a full camper will have a heavy bed in the back, cupboards, all your awnings and all your kit to go away, and it does make the vehicle sit quite a lot lower at the back. You probably can't see from here, or you may be able to, but clearly that there is a substantial difference. If we just measure that, so on the front here, what are the measurements, Blake?
690 mil.
690 on the front, and then if we move to the back,
645 mil.
645, so there's 45 mil difference, and that's just on a standard van. So if we just show you inside, it's just a fairly standard camper, nothing particularly heavy, but even with that weight, that is making that back sit that much lower. So today we're just going to talk you through options on how to straighten this one up and also lower it at the same time. Right, so first of all, the newest and cheapest option is the new IBAC leveling springs. So these are just a rear spring that's designed to work with your standard OEM suspension and your standard front springs. It's pretty much a longer and thicker, stronger spring. Made by IBAC, they're fully TUV approved, so they can be used in the whole of Europe and Germany and everywhere. So basically you just get the rear spring, you get a new top spring rubber that's designed to sit in the thicker coil. You'd use that with your existing strut and your existing spring rubber. You may find that your rear spring rubber off your vehicle is a little bit older or even over a year, then sometimes the rear spring rubbers get damaged. It might be worth buying a new set as well. They're not expensive, they're about 15 quid I think a pair. And here's a video of Mikey fitting them just to show you how quickly it can be done. Mikey's just set a time lapse here to show you it's really a 10-minute job, as you'll see. Now these springs are, like I said, the cheapest way to allow your vehicle to sit level. These springs are 339 with us, and we do free fitting on them. We supply no end of these to the trade. We supply lots to camper conversion companies, so if you're having a camper build done and it's something that you've noticed that the vehicle sits low at the back, get your conversion company to get in touch and we can supply them the springs for them to fit them at the time that they're doing the build, or come to us and we can do the fitting for free. Okay, so that's the van with the IBAC rear lift springs on. 35mm lift springs is how they're advertised, although they do give slightly more lift than that. But this seems to have given the absolute perfect balance. So if we just take you over there and measure up. Where are we at with the fronts now, Blake?
685 mil.
685. And the rears?
690.
690. So to kind of give an idea and replicate what you would have with your awning and perhaps your children and stuff in the back, we've put a Mikey and a Joe in the back. Just to try and show it from here, you can see it sits nice and even. Okay, so that's your options if you want to level up your camper but keep a standard height and keep your standard shocks. But now I'm just going to talk you through a few options if you want to level up your camper but lower it at the same time. This is going to be an unpopular opinion amongst a lot of people, but I don't think that putting cheap coilovers on your van is the right thing to do. If you've got 30-40 grand camper van that you've spent a lot of money on, spending 300 quid on a set of coilovers doesn't kind of work for me, or my opinion on it anyway. I'm not saying that then there's not a market for them and there's definitely a place for a cheaper coilover, but when you've got a full camper van that's holding a lot of weight, for me you're better off going down the spring option. So, a genuine set of VW struts, which you'll be taking off your van, they're 500 quid a set. So you're removing 500 quid of dampers and then replacing them with cheap coilovers. It kind of is like a false economy. So my opinion, for what it's worth, unless you want to kind of go sort of 50, 60, 70 mil, 80 mil low, or even lower than that, then you're better off sticking with your original OEM dampers and then look at fitting an adjustable spring set. Your first option for going lower and keeping the vehicle balanced is this. So these are an IBAC adjustable spring set. So how these work is you fit the front spring and that will determine how low the vehicle is. So you've got a couple of options. IBAC do a 35 to 40 mil drop set and then a 50 to 60 mil drop set. That's kind of an average depending on the weight in your vehicle. You fit the front springs and that will determine how the vehicle's going to sit. And then you fit the rear springs like this one, which has an adjuster on it. So you can then use that adjuster to adjust the back of the vehicle up to the height to match the front. That'll improve your handling anyway. It'll make the vehicle sit nicer, it will drive nicer. It will handle better because the weight's balanced. So that's your first option. These are about 550 quid, there or thereabouts. So they're not cheap, but they're IBAC built, they're German quality, it's TUV approved, and those are to be used with your genuine OEM struts that are already on the vehicle. So on from there for us, or how we do it, and probably our most common thing we fit, and what most people have heard of, is the B14. So German build quality, again, full coilover kit. So this is replacing your struts, front and rear dampers, and also your spring set. The dampers are made shorter to work with the shorter spring. So these are what so many people have on their van. It's, like I said, our most common thing that we fitted, and probably the most popular suspension there is out there. We do these for 1,100 quid with free fitting. Lots of places will do that, or you can buy them directly and we'll ship them out and get them fitted yourself. But the vehicle can go from sort of 50 to 70 mil drop over standard, and use the rear adjusters to balance it back up again so it sits nice, and dramatically improve the ride and the handling of your vehicle over a standard shock with a shorter spring. And then finally, from there we move on to, from a lowering point of view, to the solo suspension kit. So shorter again. People ask whether you can go low with a camper because of the weight. Well, we'll show you some pictures, or a picture now of a couple of campers that are lowered on solos. Yes, it's perfectly achievable. Yes, the vehicle will be lower, but they're not just designed for panel vans or day vans. A full camper's perfectly, it's perfectly okay to have a set of solo struts on, and you can run them really low. The thing with a van is, even when a van's really low, the clearance is still quite high when you compare it to something like a sports car, like a Ferrari or a Porsche or something. The underneath the vehicle is still a lot higher. So solos work perfectly well. Solos start at about 100 mil, so the highest setting on a solo is 100 mil, and from there you can kind of go anywhere. 130, 140. Our solo demo vehicle and Mikey's van, that's got about 190 mil drop, 185, 190 mil drop. With some extra modification. Probably not ideal if you're going for a full camper and you want to be driving over campsites and stuff, but still, you don't need to go there. You can set these 100 mil out of the box and the ride is still really good. You're riding at the top of the piston compression when you've only got 100 mil drop. The spring is under its maximum load because the adjuster's wound right up, so the return on the spring is really good. But yeah, great option. So finally, what if you want to lift it and you want to level it out? Well, there's an option for that now. We've been working with Bilstein on our solo kit. We use a solo strut, our Big H strut as we call it, made for us by Bilstein, and then they have an adjustable spring set. So that's what's on this vehicle. So it's they're longer dampers, front and rear, with an adjustable spring front and rear. And that then allows you to adjust the vehicle as you start to camper it, or as you add weight to it, or anything. It just allows you to make the vehicle sit level as that one does there. So that's a new kit we've just been working on with Bilstein, so it's still in the prototype stage, but it should be ready in the next couple of months. And finally, you've got air suspension as an option, but that's a whole other video. So that's taking you through lots of options on how to get your vehicle to sit level, whether it's just a rear spring to make the back sit up, whether you want to go lower or really low, but you want your camper to sit level, or even if you want to go up, if you want to lift the vehicle. There's several options there. Any questions, just post them below or drop us an email. We do lots of suspension work here, so we're pretty well advised on routes that you can possibly take. Again, thanks for watching. If you like what you see and you want to see some more, hit the subscribe button, like it, and share it with people that you think might be interested in it too, and we'll continue to make some more of these videos.